What's up, guys? Welcome back to another Inside Snoop podcast. This is episode 3 now. So we're going to talk about a few different things today. So big welcome to Justin again. And yeah, we're just going to crack on with a few topics for today. So the first one is going to be things that are trending in the industry, both in the States and the UK. So firstly, I think if we talk about collagen, collagen products are trending quite a lot. What's your thoughts on them?
Good. Well, right. We'll try to stay on topic as much as possible today. We'll knock out some of this stuff. I think, right, collagen, there's like the big debate. It's kind of one of those, I'm already going to like go off on it, but I'm going to try to stay on topic. So collagen's like another one of those products where I feel like where we look at it on paper, say maybe take like a glutamine or other things like that, you go, okay, we know that it's abundant in the body. We know the body needs it. We know the body can make good use of it. But how much of it, when we take it in, actually gets to its intended target? That seems to be the disconnect when it comes to collagen. But I think there is enough, and that's like where sort of like what's really cool about the supplement industry, as opposed to like pharmaceutical industries, is we can start playing with this stuff, and we can talk to each other about, hey, what are you experiencing? Like, is this something legitimate? So I've always said to people, I was like, collagen has become the miracle, supplement, like especially for general public. I think they're bombarded with collagen.
Yeah, definitely.
It's like a big buzzword, but I think for the people that know this stuff, you see it, you see the applicability for it, especially when it comes to like joint health, but then also, because that's, I think, another confusing part is the different types for people. They don't know that there's, maybe some different,
exactly.
Or like marine collagen, even though it's much more expensive. And so we get a big rabbit hole with collagen, but I think it's just sort of one of those areas that I think is worth us as an industry, as a group, checking into it. Because I've seen some really, like, I really like collagen. I'm not sure, we don't have like I make this analogy all the time, but I was like, we don't have like a, like a gas gauge on your body where it says like, this is how much collagen you've got going on. But I think like sticking to long-term use of it, I've definitely seen some, I think collagen's pretty legit.
Yeah, I agree. I think, have you been using it yourself then? Have you been?
Oh yeah.
Which one have you been using?
So I've got to use a few different ones because, fortunately there's some really cool companies that make some collagen. There's some really good like flavored ones that
I know what you're going to say already, yeah.
Like Obvi.
Obvi, yeah.
Oh my gosh, those are good. But VMI is a brand over here that does not get the attention that it should. VMI, first of all, fantastic group of guys and women over there, but their flavors of all their stuff is just, and they do like very like straightforward formulas and very effective. So, but they make a collagen also that's just, the flavors are just insane.
Oh really? Yeah, because we spoke with those guys a while ago, and we were speaking about the pre-workout, KXR.
Yeah. Stem Bomb.
Yeah. So we were thinking of trying that, and there was another product. What was the other product? They did something pretty cool. I can't remember what it was. It was quite cool.
Yeah, they do a lot of stuff. Is straightforward. Smaller formulas. They use some patent nitrates in some of their pump products.
Yeah, that was cool.
But their flavoring systems are off the charts.
Really good.
Their protein and stuff. Oh man, yeah, they kill it.
So what? Because with the Obvi one, I've tried the Obvi one. I know it's Ronak, isn't it? That owns it, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I spoke to him quite a bit, and it was quite interesting because actually when he reached out to me first, it seemed like he knew me. Like he reached out to me and said, "Oh, Danny, it's nice to meet you again." And me being completely honest, I don't know if he's going to watch this or not, but it sounds a bit rude. But I was a bit like, I can't remember speaking to you. But apparently he was in some. Is it what was the company he was with before?
That he was with before?
Yeah, wasn't it like an agency?
He was with like Sparta.
Sparta, that's it, Sparta. So that's where he's got me from. Yeah, because I used to. Yeah, right. Okay, that makes sense. But yeah, when he reached out, I was like, Sparta? Yeah, he did. Yeah, he's very good at that. And I mean, when he reached out first, I was a bit like, what's going on here? Like, what is this brand? But I tried them. I tried the cinnamon, the fruity cereal. I think it was just those two at the time. But they're brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, and you can tell too, like what you just said, it's cool when you have, so you take collagen. Collagen's pretty simple. Like if you look at the collagen products that are on the market, they're all basically the same thing. They're taking bovine collagen,
Yeah.
grinding it up, throwing it in there, right? Certain dosages. So then what do you do with that? But Avi, their marketing is killer.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, we talk about, is it, when you make the pink bottles and stuff like that, when your target is women, but you can do that in like a cool way
Yeah.
and not like make it predatory, like how some companies, we call it the pink tax, where if you market towards women, you can just put something pink on there.
Right.
There's
Okay.
a few
Yeah.
companies that do that. And, but super nice guy, great group of people. They've always been really open to feedback and
Yeah.
they always want to have their big members like in the supplement Snoop group. So I'm biased towards them. But their products are killer, and
Yeah.
I've been using their collagen for a long time, and I have to cut my nails like every 2 days. So
Right.
that's
Okay.
all I can tell people. I'm like, holy shit, like what's going on here?
That's
So
quite. I think that's something that probably people would like to hear because that kind of, in a certain way, does prove it's doing at least something. Because I think, like you said, the whole thing of not being able to gauge if it's really doing anything is always a big issue. It's the same with essential amino acids and things like that. I always said to people,
mhm.
I don't think they're an essential at all. I don't think that you realistically need them. I think there's a lot more things you should be buying before that. And people say, well, how do I know it's working? And I said, to be honest with you, you might feel a little bit better on recovery, but I very much doubt it. It's like eating a little bit more protein. Are you going to feel it? Maybe you might feel a bit better in yourself recovery wise, but
Yep.
do you know what
And
I
it
mean?
kind of like goes, it's kind of like part of that whole conversation we talk about, part of the difficulty when it comes to supplements and why it's kind of like our responsibility to sort of see this through is most people don't want to stick to it,
Yeah,
right? You just want to take one bottle of it and then so when we get some of these more like general health based stuff, especially like collagens or I had this conversation with a couple of people about some newer products that have been coming out lately that they're not people want that instant gratification from like a pre-workout or a fat burner, but a lot of this stuff is just absolutely not designed to work that way. I mean, you're talking months of adherence
yeah,
to some of these things. And then like what you were talking about the amino acids, I feel the same way. Like, does everyone need amino acids? Absolutely not. But
yeah,
it's like if you're using them, say intra workout, like I train fasted and I'll
yeah.
use amino acids intra workout. It's like, well, use them because I did this experiment. I was like, so am I just wasting my time? And then
Right.
I started taking it away and I started working out without them fasted, and I did notice a difference. But
Did you?
now someone else might not.
Right. Okay.
So sometimes it's like when you use something like that, try taking it away
Yeah.
and maybe it's a placebo thing too at the same time, but that's the only way you can really tell. Like I said, you're
Yeah.
like, how do you know if it's working? It's like, well,
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
it's
No.
kind of hard.
But what you said there makes a lot of sense because the problem with our market is our market is very, very bodybuilding based. So a lot of these
Mhm.
guys are not training fasted. And I think the fact that you've been in a position where you can pull it out, see where the differences are, and then make an judgment for yourself, this is working for me, which is
Right.
perfect, which I think too many people are scared to do. Like, they would think, right, okay, I need to take my amino acids. My coach has told me I need to take these amino acids. Um, have you tried it without? Because you could be wasting £30 of your wage a month.
Right.
That's my
For
only
sure.
my only take on it. But in terms of back to collagen, so on collagen, there's a company in the UK. Have you heard of Applied Nutrition?
Applied? I don't think so.
Right. Well, they're very. At first, when I first came across them, I thought they were very. What's the word? Kind of along the lines of the more corporate, bigger brands, which are not really doing that great formulas.
Hmm.
And I was kind of a bit like, yeah, don't go to them, telling people I don't think they're that great. They only had a few formulas out, which wasn't very good. The pre-workouts were severely underdosed. And in general, it just seemed a bit of a cliche kind of company.
Right.
However, once
Like
looking
just
into them, they're a bit more they're doing things right. They're just doing it on the cheap. Um,
mhm.
so for your basic
Which,
things like
yeah.
multivitamins, vitamin C, vitamin D3, even protein, they're doing quite well now. So they're the guys. I don't know if you've seen recently. There's a company, the Yummy Sports bags.
Hmm.
So have you seen another one? It might have been on Stack 3D, which was very similar.
It's not ringing a bell. I know
Right,
we haven't gone through Stack much lately, but
right, okay.
it all kind of runs together at some point.
Yeah,
So, but yeah.
yeah.
So
Well,
that's applied. That's applied
yeah, so
nutrition.
Applied basically what they did is they've completely ripped off Yumi Sports, I'm not going to lie. So what they've done is they've got even the flavors word for word are choc caramel, cream eggs. They're literally identical flavors basically. And it's
Do we want to go
identical.
down the Yummy Sports rabbit hole about that whole thing with Yummy Sports and their whole controversy, or do we want to
No,
save that for another time?
what was that?
There was what they were. Well, I would want to get my facts completely straight then before I say this because it was actually posted on our private group that I want to say the owner and they were manufacturing like pharmaceutical or like pretty sketchy shit like at the
Right,
same
okay.
time. So we'll have to dive into because I know Yummy Sports is really big like over in the UK and nobody in America knows who it is. But
Right.
when someone posted it the other day, I think in our private group about they did like I said, I won't go into details without knowing the exact facts, but it was maybe worth looking into because I
Right,
saw it, I was
okay.
like, wow, I was like, that's pretty shady. But
Right.
what are you gonna do?
No, yeah, I mean it's something that yeah. Anyway, yeah. So basically, they Applied Nutrition do some cool things. They're not doing anything really unique, but they're doing standard stuff quite well. So we brought them in. We've been selling them. They're a UK brand, and they've recently released three collagens. So they've done the marine collagen, the normal one, and there's one other which I cannot think what it could be. Can you think of what it is? A different type?
Um, I know that people use the chicken collagen for like the type 2
Yeah,
collagen. That's more like joint health oriented. But I've seen some because the marine collagen, it's like the smaller peptides and things like that, maybe
yeah.
more absorbable. But I think marine collagen is higher in type 2, if I'm correct. And type 2 is the joint
Yes, yes, it
specific one.
is. It's a lot more
And
expensive as well, I think, isn't it?
yeah, marine collagen is pretty expensive from what I've
Yeah.
seen. But I've seen because actually Obvi just came out with which I thought was cool. They had it's like a collagen fat burner type product, which some of the fat burning pieces are just kind of there, but they actually made a blend, and I was wondering when we were going to see this. With collagen being so popular, they're actually taking it's a proprietary blend of multiple collagen sources.
Right.
It's like the bovine collagen, marine collagen, I think chicken collagen, bone broth, and stuff like that. And I was like, that's
Okay.
pretty cool. I was wondering when we are gonna see stuff like that happening, but um, I don't know if any one of those is what you're thinking.
It might be, yeah.
The
Yeah.
UC2 collagen is the chicken, it's like chicken
Yes.
sternum. That's the one that you see a lot because it's type 2 collagen specific to joint
Yeah, you
health.
see it a lot in the joint supplements, don't you? I think the first one I seen it in
Hmm.
it might have even been Blackstone Labs. Might have been.
Yeah, because they came out with some formulas. What's that for their joint formula like orthobolic?
Orthobolic, yeah.
That was a Gorilla Chemist formula when he was still there, I'm pretty sure. And he, like most of their products, he's usually ahead of the
Yeah.
curve a little bit. And when he was at Blackstone, like that's another one of their formulas that has never really changed. That's still been popular for years because he put it
Yeah,
together
because
really,
he was
really
so
well.
ahead. Yeah.
Hmm.
It makes a lot of sense. So yeah, so collagens I think for me are definitely they're not I'd say I don't know how to say it. They're not kind of being over I cannot speak today. Sorry, man.
Well, it's like anything, it's hard because, and actually, I go through this when it comes to like collagen or probiotics and stuff like that.
Yeah,
It's like, that this stuff is beneficial. We're
yeah,
not sure maybe how beneficial, but it's like everyone just, it's hard to stop the hype of
yeah,
some of these
yeah.
ingredients. It's like everybody just slow the fuck down
Exactly.
and
Yeah,
let's talk about this just for a minute. Because I'm like, I've become like the anti-probiotic guy, which is not true at all. Like I think it's great, but I was like, I don't like when we give the magic pill sort of answer. Like people are
yeah,
just like, oh, take some probiotics. It's like, well, and I've mentioned this before. I was like, even people that make it their life study don't fully understand the gut balance and stuff like that. So
yeah, yeah.
if you're a supplement company trying to tell me that you have the answer to my gut health, I don't believe you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So just slow down. Let's talk about this.
Yeah, I mean, I had it recently with a few customers asking questions. What do you do? Because I struggle with gut health personally. Like I'm
I think
very
everybody does, right?
intolerant. Yeah, exactly. Like
Yeah.
I'm very intolerant to a lot of foods. It seems I didn't used to be, but I definitely am now.
Hmm.
And the one thing that I've always said is just eliminate things out of your diet first. Don't waste money. Trying these products where, to be honest, you're probably just upsetting the balance of things. And at the end of the day, you might just take out something like gluten, and you might become, absolutely normal. I've done it where I've taken out just in general more fatty foods, and my gut health's so much better. It's people kind of will come to you with they'll be eating takeaways every day, and
Hmm.
I'm one of these people at one point in my life, and you'd be eating these takeaways, and you'll come and say, "I've got really bad gut health." Yeah, but everyone
Yeah, no
who's doing
shit.
that has exactly.
Right.
So it's quite
Well, and
interesting.
that's one big thing too. We have like different conversations because sometimes like what makes me sort of stop, and it's thyroid products are another one that make me kind of cringe because it's a balance in your body that you don't want to have off, and
Yeah,
but at the same time, what you'll see is you have two separate conversations in this industry. Us that maybe are more in tune with these things can have a conversation about probiotics or thyroid, ingredients. But what I see, what makes me uncomfortable is I see people that don't have a handle on their diet and nutrition and their weight control and their
yeah,
relationship with food is very poor. They are like, oh, it's my thyroid or
yeah,
it's my gut health, and it's like, no, it's not. It's you. So
yeah,
maybe like if you get everything else in order, you can add one of these products, like
yeah,
going back to the whole it's a supplement
yeah,
thing.
exactly. Yeah, yeah,
But that's just what makes me sort of stop sometimes. It makes me uncomfortable that I see so many people just saying, "Go take this gut health product. Go take this,"
yeah,
and it puts this seed in people's heads that it's not my diet, it's not my lifestyle, it's my thyroid. You know what I mean? Or it's
yeah,
my gut health, and it's like. But going back to collagen, also, that's kind of one of those things where like collagen and gelatin, a lot of our diets now are definitely lacking
yeah,
that type of stuff anyway. So you can see how, as our diets have changed and people go on these drastic,
yeah,
diets and stuff like that, it's hard to even like, it's hard to tell people what to take because you have to know. People. It's crazy to me when I talk to people about what their food intake is. Sometimes I'm like,
yeah.
oh my gosh, I don't even know where to start. Like, why don't you just try to eat normal sometimes? I don't know. Makes
Yeah.
everything easier. So
Yeah, no, I agree completely, Matt. I think there's a lot of people pushing the easy fix, a lot of people pushing the supplements in that way. It's a bit of a shame, but what we're going to do. So I guess another one that we could talk about that's trending would be let's do sleep aids. Let's go on to sleep aids next. So this is quite a
that blew
big,
up.
exactly. This is a
Yeah.
big topic. Like people are going crazy for sleep aids. At one point, I actually probably reckon it was our second to third best selling product in terms of category. Um, what do you think about how they should be used? And
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, this is a topic for like a whole
our
podcast for
podcast,
us.
yeah,
But I get this question all the time, and it's become kind of like someone will say, Justin, I need to get 8 hours of sleep and wake up feeling refreshed. What can I take? And I'm like, if I had that answer,
exactly.
I wouldn't be here right now. I would have my own island somewhere. So it's like the sleep thing, especially what has become so difficult to think about sleep is as our diets have really become a challenge, as our habits have become a challenge. 100%. I was very against. I think you and I talked. I don't want to say very against, but one thing I think you and I talked about before was the blue light blocking classes. Um, I I was like, whatever. I'm skeptical, and I started. It was the Dr. Dean and the guys at Supplement Needs
Mhm.
sent me that stack, and they
Yeah,
gave me blue light classes. Dude, if I wear blue light glasses at night, I go to bed earlier. It's just
yeah,
absolutely 100% true. And it's like I was like, holy shit, this is actually legit.
yeah,
Because I
yeah,
I never had that like um I've always been like up late just as it was, but I never had like the eye strain or like the headaches that people would get
Yeah.
from looking at the phone all the time. But I don't, I mean, I'm pretty encouraged by what I see, but there's all these, but the point I was getting at is there's all these new things that are in our lives now. You know, we take these studies that we know about sleep or these ingredients and just all that's changed as far as lifestyles go just in the past like few years. People are just so out of whack.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, how, how do you tell someone what to take to get a good night's sleep? It's
Exactly.
like I mean, there's no answer to it. And even if you take something like, we make some pretty strong shit in America
Yeah,
still.
you
Like
do.
we have some, some heavy Phenibut formulas. Even that, you take some of this stuff and it doesn't work 100% of the time.
Yeah.
You know, um, I've used like a lot of natural ways. I've tried without it, so this is that's a huge category. It's a huge topic. It's
Yeah.
almost like, man, where do you even start? Because the ingredients are one thing, but so much of it is dependent. Like all this stuff is dependent on your overall lifestyle. But sleep, I
Yeah.
think, might even be the most difficult one to grasp
Yeah.
because people are tough with consistency and just things like that, and then to get them to get a good night's sleep and wake up like
Exactly.
I, I don't know.
Yeah,
Uh,
we have it all the time. We have a lot of people that want to know that, and like you say, there is no answer. And the one thing I always say, and I always tell people to do this, is just try the things that are free first. Never go on to a supplement that says it's going to give you a good night's sleep, because that's not necessarily true, as we all know. But I think the things you can do for free, and especially just in general, just turning your TV off a little bit earlier, I generally believe make a huge impact. They've made a huge impact on me when I do try it. I don't try it enough, but when I have done it, it's you also feel, I find, a little bit less stressed, less anxious. Just disconnecting from the world a little bit, I think,
mhm.
is definitely good for people. And I think the problem with this day and how everything's changed from before is, I guess, that people are always in each other's faces. No matter what, you're in each other's faces on Instagram, on Facebook, on this, on that. You never get time to actually sit and think, what do you
Mhm.
think for yourself? And that's the thing what I said the other night. I said to these guys, I said, just genuinely just stop, make yourself into a relaxed state, see what you can do. If you're still struggling, then maybe you can try a supplement, see what it can do for you. Over here, obviously, we can't have GABA, we can't have melatonin, we can't have
You're
obviously
screwed.
Phenibut, we can't have anything, literally.
Yeah.
So the only thing we can really do is to supplement 5-HTP, which in turn might, make a little bit more melatonin, but turning
Yeah,
our light out.
5-HTP, that whole balance is tough too when it comes
Yeah,
to 5-HTP. That's yeah, I agree, man. It's a hard one to grapple with. I mean, people send me sleep aids all the time, and kind of another thing is too is a lot of this stuff is designed. Some of them are like, okay, we're gonna just knock you out
yeah,
senseless,
yeah,
no matter how much you're going. A lot of this stuff is just, okay, if you're able to put yourself in a relaxed state, we're gonna help you just maybe maintain that a little bit
yeah,
further. But a lot of people, and you're right, like a big thing that I noticed for myself is if I'm using my phone at night, especially without my blue light glasses,
hmm
um, you're just constantly, going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And it does, man. Like, at least for me, it takes time for, even though you put your phone down,
yeah,
your brain is still, it's sort of like making the analogy where we talk about, maybe say working out, say doing like interval training or something like that, where you're
yeah,
sort of like doing, and some of the theories are that it helps your metabolism sort of because your body's like kind of trying to keep up with what you're sort of doing to it. We do that to our brains like
yeah,
24/7.
yeah,
So it's
exactly.
like it's hard to stop it. And then you notice when if you do unplug for a little bit, I notice when I do it, I'm like, man, this feels so much better.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
holy shit. So that's when people start talking about sleep. Like I've said to people, I get questions about that daily sometimes, and I'm like, well, a good sleep aid could be a new mattress. It could
yeah,
be some darker curtains for your room. It could be a fan. It could be something to cool you down. Like it could be a carbohydrate, maybe meal, later
Yeah.
on at night. I was like, it doesn't have to be 3 grams of
Yeah.
Phenibut.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
But
Has
you can try that too.
has there been any that you have tried though that have worked for you?
Yeah, none that you guys can use.
Right. Okay.
I will say this, and this is but that Dr. Dean sleep stack does work.
hmm
The It's a very natural approach to
Yeah.
producing melatonin and things like that. That I don't want to say I was surprised, but my personal difficulty with my cycle, I was like, well, but it does work. That's a really good one, especially for if people want to go the more natural route, because everyone got super excited because Core makes Triple Z, and they had stopped making it.
Right.
And I won't go into too much detail because I don't want to, let's just say the FDA was like, okay, no more Phenibut America, although high tech still does it because they don't give a shit what the FDA
Right.
says. But so Core had just released their Triple Z product, which is I really really like that one. So it was all gone,
Right. Okay.
but there was just I don't want to say a re-release. Maybe they had some stock left over that they sold, and
Right. Okay.
I definitely bought quite a few just to stock up. Core makes a really good one, but it's got a gram of Phenibut in it. It's a
Right.
lot.
Okay.
And it's
Yeah.
like it gets weird because people are like, well, what about like addiction? But what I always tell people, you can't just sit there and go, because there's people that are addicted to pre-workouts.
Oh yeah.
It's being addicted to that habit.
Yeah.
So it's not necessarily just an ingredient thing, although maybe that makes people more susceptible. But it's hard for me sometimes to talk to people about that because I don't really like have an addictive personality. But a lot of people that are in this space have extreme addictive personalities.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's where, like, I think it comes in what you and I talk about. It's very individual when we talk to people. It's like, what type of person am I giving this advice to?
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Am I going to go give? And then I talk to people. They'll ask me, "Oh, is Core Triple Z a good sleep aid?" And I'm like, "Well, I could say yes, but I was like, well, what else you got going on?" And they'll start telling me like all the prescription medications that they
Yeah.
take, and I'm like, hold on.
Yeah.
That
Exactly.
that drug use that they actually do, and I was like, okay, I can't get involved with this. But that's
No.
why you ask questions, because it's like, what if you were to just go? I mean, that could potentially be, some sort of lethal combination in there somewhere, and
Yeah.
dude,
Definitely.
I am so boring. Like, I take a lot of I take supplements, but I'm so like fucking boring. When I start talking to all these people about the stuff that they do, I'm like,
Yeah. Yeah.
holy shit! Like, I don't do anything. Like, I
Yeah,
just,
I'm the same, man. I'm the same.
it's so boring, man.
Funnily enough, you touched on pre-workout addiction just then, and for me, I had a little kind of situation where I probably haven't mentioned it to you before. Where, for example, I was so addicted to taking, I still am now, to be honest with you, to taking a pre-workout in part of a routine. I think a lot of it is routine. So for me, to just go out there and do a session would be weird. I need,
For
yeah,
sure. Yeah.
like I need to have the routine of getting it into a glass or into my shaker, sitting down, maybe
Yeah.
watching a bit of YouTube while drinking it, and then heading off.
Yeah.
And I always eat a bag of sweets in the car as well. So for me, it's quite routine is a huge thing. And I remember once I was working at this gym. This was before all this, and my friend came up to train, and I said, "Oh, you've brought the pre-workout, right?" He said, "No, I haven't brought it. I thought you had it." So I'm like,
Like anxiety.
literally, man, I'm like, I don't
Yeah.
think we can train, dude. Like, I don't think we can do it.
Yeah.
So he turns around to me and says, "Yeah, but we can, can't we? Like, it's nothing to do with that, really. Like, come on, I'm sure we can do it." I said, "I tell you what, I've got a really good idea." So we found in the gym kitchen some, I think it was black currant juice. So we put the black currant juice in our usual shaker, shaked it, and took it in a usual way. Yeah, like a
Yeah.
usual way we would take the pre, and we like full on necked it, got it down us, and I'm not even joking to you. I felt a rush.
Yeah.
Like
Isn't
it's
that crazy?
crazy.
Well, it's like that whole so we talk about this a lot, the placebo effect, sort of, because a lot of the pre-workouts and stuff like that, we're gonna jack up dopamine and stuff like that, but that sort of response is like you can get a response like that without drinking a pre-workout
Yeah,
because
yeah,
your body's like, oh shit, it's time.
exactly.
And
Yeah,
all of a sudden you get that rush that the pre-workout was supposed to be sort of doing for you. You're like, you can do that yourself, and it's like
yeah,
amazing. But
exactly.
we had a similar thing because I don't know, you guys don't have like a pro over there, do you?
No,
Jeff
we
Jeff
carried
Long?
it right at the beginning, but we can't anymore.
It's so he makes a pump and focus product, which
Yeah,
is a beast, right? But it's got 125 caffeine in it, max.
yeah,
And the cool thing about that one is it actually still is fully loaded. You know, a lot of times if you want to hit 125 caffeine, you have to half dose
yeah,
a regular pre-workout. So, but anyway, there's a lot of like stim junkies that I know, and I'm telling people, I was like, I would have never get. I was like, but if you stick to just using that pre-workout, I was like, the first couple days will be hard. I was like, but you'll get into a routine where you'll consider not going back to a high stim pre-workout
yeah,
like ever again. And it's just amazing how we're so dependent on, and so now we have no idea what the hell is actually working or not. You're like, do I need the 47 ingredients in
yeah,
there,
yeah,
or do I just need to pretend that there's 47 ingredients in there?
exactly.
Like what if you took a just a plain powder, but you slapped all this stuff on the label
Yeah,
and you drank it, thinking that you're taking
a
all these
pre-workout.
ingredients?
Yeah, yeah,
Like, dude, that's because we actually talk about that. We're like, we see some reviewers and stuff like that out there, and we're like, I wonder if we just sent them like just some bogus stuff to see
yeah.
what they would say about it.
No, genuinely, I think that would be one of the best tests ever done
Yeah.
in any history. Like to just send to make a. I think if you did it so legit that you made a new brand, you branded it all amazingly well. You put this label on it and you said, right, go have this, and it was literally just flavored powder. I genuinely believe they would say this is a sick pre-workout. Like,
Could be.
yeah, like
It's like
genuinely,
that
but
whole, we talked about that before, like having bias when you look at a label. I told you that's one thing, like when like Chris at Inspired, for example, when he sends me something to try, he doesn't ever tell me what it is.
right,
Because he's like, I don't want you to have any sort of preconceived, notions about what you're supposed to expect. He's like, I just want real feedback. And I was like, well, it's a good thing I trust you.
yeah,
But he could be, I mean, there could have been times where he sent me like nothing. And
yeah.
I was like, dude, Chris, this was amazing. And he'd be like, well, there wasn't anything in there. So,
Yeah, exactly. No, exactly. And that's how we do it with foresight in general. I try, and so I'll get the formula done. And I haven't done it recently, but in the past, I would just say, right, just try this, give it to my business partner, and see what he thought. I wouldn't tell him what was in it, what it was, and that's a good way of testing it. Really is. But when you touched a little bit before on raising dopamine and just raising your mood in general, we found that one pre-workout which really only worked well, it worked extremely well when you were in a good mood. But when you were in a bad
mm,
mood, it really struggled. And that was the Hypermax Extreme, which I know runs on a lot of PEAs.
oh, yeah.
Um, when we were in I remember once we were in a really good mood, we were heading to this new gym, which was crazy. It was the best pre-workout I've ever had. And then we had it
Mm-hmm.
another time, and it was just like, this isn't even doing anything.
Mm-hmm.
Which is quite interesting. Like that one was quite an interesting one for me.
That one is very, it, because I remember I've taken that pre-workout a lot and it's a killer formula.
Yeah,
But I've like some of the times I've taken it are seriously like in my top five like workouts ever.
yeah, yeah,
But then there's plenty of other times where I've taken it and it's like, I don't even think I took anything
yeah,
today.
exactly.
But there's a lot because that point that you just brought up, there's pre-workouts too, especially when you get like a lot of these ingredients that whatever mood I'm in, like it will just amplify
Yeah,
that mood. And if you're in a bad mood and you take a certain pre-workout, sometimes you're like, okay, now I'm just evil.
yeah, yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I mean? You're just like, oh my God, like what's going on here? And you just sort of realize it's like whatever sort of state you're in. It's kind of like going back to the sleep thing. It's like if you're tired and you take a sleep aid, it can, sort of keep you. But sometimes like some people, if you're really wide awake, they'll take a sleep aid and they're like even more awake,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
kind of thing. It's like, what the hell's going on here?
Yeah, exactly. No, exactly. I
Yeah.
agree. And yeah, it's interesting, man, because the Performax Labs Hypermax, we love it. Like, I genuinely
Mhm.
really like the brand. I love the products. I love the owner. I think he's really cool. For some reason, just doesn't sell for us, and I don't get it.
Same here. I think I've never talked to them directly, but I know that they it seems like they have some issues with marketing because their formulas are like second
Yeah,
to none. You
yeah, they
go
really
across their
are.
whole line, their formulas are awesome.
Did you try
Um,
the new Vasomax?
did I try Vaso? I don't think so.
It's really good.
They I did try Hypermax. Um, they're definitely formulas. I tried Nootropimax. That's a good one.
Yeah, that's strong.
The capsule one. Yeah. But I don't think so. Because then they came out with the protein powder, which I thought was really. And this is not. I don't want to like tell them their business or make comments and stuff like that. But I thought it was odd because if you're a company that has these really cool products, and this is something we get into with the consulting, we've run into the same issue with people trying to sort of get them to think differently. If you're not able to sell, like if you have cool products and you're not able to sell those to people, the solution probably isn't to create a protein powder,
Yeah,
or more products, because
yeah,
then it's like, well, if you can't sell the ones you have, why are you making
yeah,
more? So I thought that was a really strange decision, especially with all the protein powders that are out there.
yeah,
And then they went for like the so you're gonna make a protein powder, but then also they added like Velocitol, I think, and stuff
yeah,
like that. And it's like, well, I mean, if you're a brand that has a lot of demand, you can do stuff like that, I think. But I just thought that was an odd choice. I don't really know what's going on like with them. They should be way more popular than they are because
yeah.
their formulas are awesome.
That's what we thought because when we took them on, didn't they win stacked pre-workout of the year?
Probably,
Something like
probably.
that.
I
Yeah,
I, I feel like I saw that on there because I think it got a lot of the people that do the awards and stuff like that were. And anybody that used it, I loved it. Like I said,
yeah,
it was hit or miss for me, but PEAs can just kind of be like that. But man, I mean, there was a couple times where I was like, holy shit, this might be like top three pre-workouts of the
yeah,
like ever. But
yeah,
it's not.
yeah. Because
It's inconsistent.
the
But
one thing I
also,
really liked with the Vasomax, which is why I asked if you'd used it, is the Vasomax was just the way they formulated it. I just thought they're trying something different. Like the usual pump products, they're going to have citrulline, da 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 da. You know the usual. But on this
yep.
one, they left it out completely. They just put 5 grams of glycosides. I think it's then S7, Vaso 6, and a few other things. Alpha size. Um, Really cool, like different approach.
Hmm.
Similar, but slightly different. And I really like that. I just think not including citrulline for once was something a little different to see, which I quite liked. And the guy is really cool. Honestly, if you ever get to speak to him, he's called, I think it's Aaron. Aaron's a really, really nice guy. And he
Yeah,
seems to, I think, like you say, it could be branding that's the potential to why they're not doing too well, but it is
it's
what it
definitely
is.
not formulas. Like I said,
Yeah,
it's not because they make a really good one that people really like. Mass Max, it's called.
yeah, yeah,
People love that product. But yeah, I just don't see them too much. Don't know why.
yeah,
But I've never. Most companies will. How do I say this? I'll just leave it there. I think not to beat a dead horse. We'll just see. I think that they should be. They should definitely be more popular. Now, there's just some disconnect there, but
yeah.
without sitting down and talking to them, I guess I can't
Yeah,
really say.
exactly. Yeah, because they've got. I know they've got. We'll move away from this in a session, but the new Max they've got coming in a powder form, and then
Hmm.
they've got Immunity Max, which is another immunity supplement. So this is going to lead on to the next bit. So thoughts on brands making. In fact, no, hold on. Let's go back a bit. Carb powders, intra-workout carb powders becoming very popular.
Hmm.
Um, my thoughts on them changed recently. They changed probably about 4 to 6 months ago. I always thought they were kind of a little bit of an expense that wasn't really needed. But having trying it and trialing it for a good amount of time, I noticed a huge difference. And when I pulled them out, I felt a lot worse. So yeah, what do you think?
Yeah, and that goes back to like something I've been training fasted for years. I do not like to eat before I work out. It depends on what time of day I'm going to train, but um, they it took me until probably about a year ago. I tried demo day
All right,
Zax's
yeah,
sludges, and I was like, "Holy shit, what have I been doing this entire time?"
yeah,
Like, but just going from just using that. If you, for me, sometimes too, it's like I'll start drinking maybe a little bit before my workout,
yeah,
obviously to get the digestion through and stuff. But people just have this weird relationship, and I think I was there at one point in my life, but they have this weird relationship with carbohydrates.
mm,
That borders on just lunacy. So
Yeah.
it's hard to tell someone like when they see like there's carbs in something, people are like, oh my God. And it's like, it'll be fine. Like
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
carbs are good, but I think it's kind of one of those struggles that I think we're finally past the keto phase. Granted, keto is always
Yeah.
going to be popular to some people, but the I think the secret is out that it's not a miracle fix. It's just something that is for a specific group of people that can be
Yeah.
beneficial. So people are embracing carbohydrates again.
Yeah.
But I love I think like there's several really good carb products that are in the States, but I know I saw your carb product look really cool, and HR Labs makes a really, really badass intro formula.
Yeah.
So those were two that I remember coming across that you guys have over there that we don't, that I was like, because yours, I can't remember the exact formula on yours. I just took a brief look at it and I was like,
Yeah.
not surprisingly, I was like, that's pretty cool.
So with ours, what we did is, because we already had, so Liam at HR Labs is a good friend of mine. Like,
Oh, good.
I've been out to eat with him a few times, and he's an absolute legend. I love him to bits.
Mhm.
The one thing with Liam is, and I've always told him this to his face, is I think sometimes he makes the formulas too good that no one wants to pay for them.
Yeah,
So
that's the thing. That's the thing. It's
it
a real
literally
thing.
is, and we distribute and also retail his brand for him, and it's always moved a bit to the people that kind of really get what he's doing, but a lot of it has really struggled. And I've always said I'll do whatever I can to help push it because it is good. But the one thing I said to him is his carb powder is, I think it retails around £50, which over here is quite a lot. And I said the one thing that I think is, it's a little bit expensive. And I said, you're getting about 24 servings, I think it is. So what we aim to do is with our carb powder is I didn't want to be a generic carb powder. We didn't want to have an over-the-top kind of priced powder. So we kind of aimed for in the middle, but to gain the benefits from it. And the idea was mainly targeted towards bodybuilders in general to give them a bit more of a pump in general when they're training, an elevation in performance slightly as well. So we basically just feature glycosize. There's some citrulline malate in there. There's some ornithine, which I really like. V-nitrox, which I'm quite a fan of.
Yeah, I did. I remember seing that because I love that ingredient. I thought that was cool. I knew
think
there
it's
was
really
an
good.
addition in there that I was like, I like that.
Yeah. So have you tried it in? What have you tried it in?
Vinitrox is in Arms Race.
Yep.
That daily pump product, man. Arms Race, I love that brand. I love Arms Race.
Yeah, me too, man.
Especially for being a GNC brand, to have to sort of, you have to sacrifice, somewhere when you're going to be in GNC as far as formulas go. But they, big fan. But they're, I know people. That's the thing is like if you're going to make an expensive intracarb product, you really have to have demand for your brand first if you want to come out with an expensive formula. We've seen that a lot over here where you can always, and it's something that we struggle with some of our clients is where's the balance here? Because if you hit the market with just massive formulas, where do you go from there? So now you have to build a demand, right? So I don't want to say like come out with something less, but you have to, who's going to buy a brand they've never heard of if it's really expensive? Because even like Chemex, when Chemex came out with their intro product, and this is Guerrilla Chemist with all his knowledge behind him and all the marketing hype and stuff behind that brand, people here are like, that's just too fucking expensive, like we're not going to buy it. And it's a super cool intro workout formula, but people are like, nah, I'm not paying that. I don't care who you are.
Exactly.
And then it's like, so what do? We've seen some companies where they're like, they hit the ground with these massive formulas. It's hard to dial back formulas now because you have your core group of customers, and now you're trying to gain more customers, but then it's like you have to start scaling back your formulas. It's a tough thing to do. You're better off, I mean, sad as it is, say, starting lower and then tacking on, perhaps, rather than the other way, because once you start to pull back your formulas, and a lot of these guys and men and women can't do that anyway, just for their own psyche. They're
exactly.
Like, I don't want to dial back my formulas, but if it's not selling, it's like you have to be open to change something. A miracle is not just going to suddenly happen. And I think that's where we see a lot of mistakes. But intra workout, I think those products are a really perfect example because they are very pricey.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't really fit in with your brand or you don't have a lot of demand already, you're kind of, I don't see them doing very well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I sat for so long figuring out what to do with an intracarb and whether to actually do one was the main thing. And the one thing that really hit for me was that we managed to get it to a price that was a little bit more than buying a 37 cyclodextrin powder just by itself. But it wasn't too much that people were thinking, hold on, I'm going to have to sell my house to get this. So when we finally nailed the formula and tried it ourselves a few times and nailed the flavors and everything, it was an instant kind of, yes, this will work. And funnily enough, we brought out 2 new products recently for Foresight, and the one that's done by far the better is the intra-workout carb, and it's so kind of weird. It's selling more than all of our other products right now. Yes, because it's new, but I think in general we've just somehow found the easier kind of medium between the two, where it gives you perfect performance. The price isn't too much. Like one of our athletes did a little screenshot for us, and he screenshotted the formula, and he sent out on his story, and he said he'd circled the ingredients after the cyclodextrin, and he basically said more than just a carb powder. And literally, even if you were to go and add those ingredients up by itself, it was easily worth the extra amount, if that made sense. So it's gone down very well for us. We're very happy with that, and I can't complain. One thing with Foresight, which I actually think we'll touch on in another podcast, is for us, it was never a case of we want it to be a global brand, we want to make tons of money. Like for us, Insight is our main priority. It was more of a side brand for myself to kind of do my passion, which is just looking into it, figuring out how I can make things work. So yeah, I think that's also can also sometimes be a positive though, because if you see a brand that's not pushing too hard and you see a brand that's just doing what they want, people sometimes like that.
Yep.
So
because we have like we have different clients. It's why like one of the things we always talk about at the beginning when we meet someone is what do you want from this? And but you have to be able, because a lot of people go, oh well, I just want to make something small, and then as they start to sell, they're like, well shit, I want to make this big. It's like, well, you kind of have to figure that out at the beginning when it comes to your distribution and formula prices and stuff like that. But we have different clients where some of them are like, I want to just grow this massively and I want to sell. I want to be out. So we're like, okay. And then we have other ones, like I think Will from Leviathan has talked to you about his products.
Yeah.
His are tough. I mean, his formulas are super expensive.
Yeah.
And like we said that I love Will. That I love that kid. He just will not sacrifice, because we'll sit with him and we're like, Will, I know that this is what you want to do.
Yeah.
But this is like a $20 some odd formula. And he's like, I don't care. This is what I want. So once you know that about someone, you can work a strategy in there, but it's a different strategy. And no one, I mean, it's okay to have different strategies. Not everyone has to be like supplement needs or like what you guys are doing, where we want to make it, because if you're small, that's cool. But also there's a balance there. You still have to get it out in people's hands. Or else, it's kind of defeating the purpose of making a really cool formula. So it's like, where is that middle ground, which is, it seems like that's what 99% of the companies, that end up failing, that's where they struggle.
Yeah.
It's like I said, it's never really the formula or the ingredients. It's their actions don't really line up with, what they're doing. So it's like, when you talk about stuff like that, I think that's a really important point for any aspiring brand to remember is, when you come up with that plan, it's hard to change it down the road. So it's like, you kind of got to stick with it.
Yeah, I think so. And I think it's probably quite different for you over there. I think we'll talk about this in a kind of a full episode, because I think there's a lot we could talk about. But in terms of when we're talking about creating a brand and stuff, I think over there for you guys, there would probably be a huge difference in how to do it to over here. Because over here, like, it's probably not overcrowded in terms of UK brands doing cool things. There's probably not many. Like, the whole reason we started Insight was because there was so many in the US and none over here. And that's kind of where then Foresight came along. We were like, shall we do this? Because there's not that many over here. Like, I think this, can work. Like, but for you guys, I would never start a brand over there. Never, man.
People ask me all the time. I'm like, I have no desire to start a brand. I can't express that hard enough. Like,
exactly.
People that are waiting for the Supplement Snoop line of supplements, you're gonna be waiting a long time because I am not crazy. I have no desire to get into that.
Yeah, exactly. And I think, you know yourself anyway, from the clients you've worked with and the people you've worked with, how hard it is over there. And yeah, it's crazy, man. Like, we will have like 6 brands each week from the US that are like, oh, can we come to the UK? And I'm just like, you're all so similar. And I can't even look into it because I'm just like, I don't even know. Like, there's so many of you guys. What separates you all? I don't know.
And then even something that might be a little bit different, like Performax, you bring it in and it doesn't do well.
Exactly, yeah.
So it's like, well, what the hell is going on here? Like, what do people want? We don't know.
Yeah, so exactly it. And we've sat, because our bestseller, we've talked about it before, is MVP, the UK formula. And we've always sat down and tried to figure out what the hell it is, which is giving it this. Sometimes we'll sit and go, this makes no sense. But then we'll go take it and we'll go, this makes sense. But then we'll forget about that and we'll be sitting going, but why is it selling so well? There must be, there's something else out there that I prefer. What is it? And people just have this obsession with certain products, and it's great, don't get me wrong, but sometimes it's just hard to pin down what exactly it is. But anyway, on to the kind of immunity stuff, which we probably said we were going to talk about 20 minutes ago. We're going to try and talk about it now. So what's your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I get this. I've talked about this a lot lately. I think I try to look at it from a positive perspective, like, because you see some companies, sure, it's predatory, sort of what they're doing, but at the same time, anytime, we know that immunity products, hopefully, this sticks with people. That when the industry was sort of validated that they were considered essential in creating these supplements and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And now a lot of people are running out there that have never been introduced to supplements. So anytime we can bring new people into the fold is always good.
Yeah.
So, but also at the same time, I think it plays into the fact where there's some brands over here that are making immunity products lately that don't give a shit about general health products.
Yeah.
But the optimist part of me says these are a lot of brands that have a lot of resources. So maybe they just need to look at things differently. It doesn't make them bad people. But if that's what people wanted, maybe they started making them their pre-workouts for the people that are like, just blow my head off. I don't care if I die, 10 years earlier than normal, but just blow me away. Like, companies will always give people, it just shows the power of the consumer when it comes to supplement industry. That's what I always tell. I was like, consumers have to stop acting like victims in this, that, they're making garbage or they're making things. It's like, they're making it because you buy it. Like, they do it. Like, they're not going to make a product that doesn't sell. So stop buying it and it goes away.
Yeah.
So then you have, now people are going, anytime you get a movement, if you will, of people going, I'm thinking more about my general health. So maybe that inspires some of these companies to go, hey, maybe we should put our money and resources into this area. Now, granted, it will dial back because this is what we do. We just get too crazy about something and then we sort of have to scale back. The pendulum swings back to the middle. But I think it's a good thing. I think, there's companies that make me cringe about what they're doing. But at the same time, I think there's a greater sort of purpose when it comes to general health and getting more companies involved. I've been saying it for a long time that I had thought that there was I probably said that for the first time about a year and a half ago. I said, there's a huge gap. I think First Form was one of the first companies that I saw that was really crushing this section of it. Was all general health stuff is always this Amazon based, it's not very good stuff, right? So, but they're making a killing because that's what most people out there are looking for. Like, our little subsection of the fitness industry is very bizarre, very weird. We like some weird shit. That's not what most people are looking for. So I had been saying for a long time, I had wanted to see some companies, and Inspired was one. I gave Chris a lot of credit for this. Getting away from especially as we saw FDA regulations and stuff coming through and ingredients getting banned. It's like this. There's going to come a point where brands that are getting into, these people have really good knowledge, they have really good resources, good manufacturing processes. They started getting into these general health products that really can help people. But we just had to sort of create a demand to get people to think about it that way. And now I think that they are. That's one of the silver linings to this whole virus thing is people are going, well, shit, maybe I should think a little harder about my general health. So I think that there is some odd things that I see, but the business is business. I mean, if everyone's out there buying immunity products, somebody's going to sell it to them.
Yeah.
So why not me? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
why
it's a
don't
good
I
point.
just make one? I didn't make one, but I probably should have.
Yeah,
I like it. I like anytime we can open up the industry a little bit to more people thinking about bigger picture stuff. I think it's a good thing.
Yeah, definitely. I think, like you say, so many more people are focused on health now. And if the customer's focused on health, the brand is going to be focused on health, like you've said. And I think I'm in like a similar boat to yourself. I think it's definitely positive to a certain extent because at the end of the day, these products, as long as they stay, I think my issue is if they go away. I think this should be not just, okay, during this situation, we're going to have these products. No. You've decided to create a health product. This health product can be used year round. There's no reason why you should take it away. That's my thoughts on that. But then this is, the other day, well, it was a while ago. It was when this first started. I'm not going to say who it is, but there's a company. And they were taking the absolute piss. I don't know if it's happened over there, but they were selling paracetamol. I don't know if you have Nurofen and stuff over there. Probably not. But it's basically like painkillers and stuff like that that people take when they have colds and all this stuff. And they were selling them at nearly, I'd say, 10 times the amount.
Yeah.
Like, that for me is just a fucking joke. And that's where I draw the line. I'm like, come on, man. Like, there's just no need, is there? And then like they're selling gloves. They're selling antibacterial stuff for like £30.
Don't even get me started on this.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's genuinely not worth it because we all know what's right. And I think even the customers know what's right because I don't think it's gone down very well for them.
Yeah, I remember walking in like when the first wave of this hysteria hit. And I remember my wife and I were going to the grocery store. And we live in a town, there's a lot of retirees. And, so I'm thinking about them. Like, I'm not worried about the virus. Well, especially not at that time. But I remember we went into the grocery store and this kid was coming out, young kid, and he's got like 40 things of bleach in his cart. And he stops me and he says, if you're looking for bleach or whatever, there's none in there. And I looked at his cart and I looked at him. I was like, you are a fucking asshole. I was like, there's people, not me. I was like, we're going to get food because I'm not weird. I was like, there's people that are going to need that.
Yeah.
Like, and you're a young, healthy person and you just bought up all this stuff. I was like, people, man, this definitely showed the dark side of a lot of people. I was like, everyone gets out there on social media and there's hands across the world for each other. I was like, when push comes to shove, everybody's in it for themselves.
Yeah, 100%.
I was like, when shit goes down, you're like, survival. I don't give a fuck about anybody else.
Yeah, man. So, like, over there for you, did you guys have toilet roll situations?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I'm like, people are going you would go into the grocery store, all the fresh produce and food and everything was there.
Yeah.
All the toilet paper is gone. And I'm like, do you people not buy toilet paper like normally?
Yeah.
What is going on here? Like that's our response to this pandemic is to buy up all the toilet paper. And that was kind of like, I always tell people there's times in my life where, maybe when you're younger and you realize you think differently than other people, it makes you feel like kind of like an outcast.
Yeah.
But then you get older and you go, no, that's a good thing that I don't think
like that.
Because you see these examples of people and what they think, and you go, oh my God, thank God I don't think like that.
Yeah,
Please.
Man.
But then you're just going, what are you doing? Like, there's...
Yeah. The one thing I never understood is, like you said, you could improve your health by eating good food and keeping your vitamins high in your body, or you can go and buy toilet roll, which doesn't prevent anything. I don't get.
I don't know.
Does the like? And the funny thing is even at the time when it started, the virus was not known for making anyone shit themselves. So where has this come from?
Toilet paper?
I don't get it.
No.
But yeah,
well,
like
that's what I mean. It was like, wait, so that was your first thought?
Yeah.
Is, oh my God, pandemic, buy toilet paper.
Toilet paper, yeah.
That's when I was just kind of like, wow.
Yeah.
No wonder. This explains a lot.
It does, exactly. And you'd even see people, like you said, about people being selfish and bringing out kind of the, caveman style like behavior.
Right.
You would see like middle-aged women fighting for toilet paper in the store, like literally fighting for it. And you just think, Jesus, man, like, what are we doing?
Right.
But anyway, we've kind of gone off topic again there. But yeah, it's just weird to see how the world has changed. But I think, yeah.
We could do another topic, another podcast all about just that.
Just that, yeah, exactly, yeah. But yeah, immunity in general, I think we'll both kind of agree that it is. I think you can definitely put a more positive stance on it. But let's just hope it keeps up, man. Let's just I just hope people keep looking after their health because, yeah.
I think that's one thing that we've said. I remember doing an Instagram TV about this and trying to drive the conversation. It's not about denying that there's a lot of like really bad shit going on, but that's out of your control, right? So that part of it, you can do what you can do in this situation. You can social distancing and all this other stuff, but taking care of yourself is what you can control most.
Yeah.
So that's something that I really don't have patience for people that play the victim role, like even when it comes to like marketing from companies or stuff like that, or my health, it's like there's a lot you can do, about this. And granted, some of it's out of control. So I understand it's not disrespectful to people, but you can control, what you eat. And you can't blame the fast food companies because you're overweight. It's your choice. You're the one making the choice. So I just think I'm hoping that if people, us on a small scale, other people on a larger scale, if we can sort of continue to drive the education of why this stuff is important year round, to maybe improve your odds a little bit or, sustain. I think that's where our responsibility lies, because we can't do anything about what has already happened.
Yeah.
But what we can do, it's like when we always talk about, like, whether it's business, whatever, you're going to make mistakes. You just don't want to make them twice.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Take what we've learned and figure out what we do moving forward, and listening to the news and all their bullshit going back and forth is not going to help. So just use your common sense. What can you do every single day to perhaps protect yourself in a similar type situation? That's the best we can do. So the more we talk about it from that perspective, I think, and there are supplements and things like that can help. So if we get out there and just connect those dots, I think it's a start anyway. Yeah,
definitely. So yeah, let's round that up there. We've got through, I think.
That was good, man. We got through like 3 topics.
That was better, man. Yeah, that was a lot better. But yeah, no, really good to have you on again, mate. I really appreciate it. I really do. And I think I've definitely had quite a lot of messages, people enjoying it. So hopefully we can keep it going, and we'll get it to somewhere quite cool. So thank you yet again. Hope you have a good day, mate. And thank you to everyone for watching.
All right, brother. I'll see you next week.
Yep. See you then, bud.